SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. SBR Forum Videos, I'm Peter Loshak. This is the Upstone versus the World show that we do every week with Doug Upstone, where we find out what his 3 value picks are that he writes for the article that he writes for SBR Forum. Every week we compare that with the tips that I've gotten from the professional handicappers throughout the week. Right now we're looking ahead to NFL Week 10. Doug Upstone, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, Peter, good to be back. Last week, or I should say after several good weeks, last week took it on the chin. Kind of felt like I was hanging with Chris Brown at a nightclub at 3 in the morning, and you know how the rest of that goes.
Sure.
But I will not take the responsibility for Buffalo because Jeff Toole, that's with 2 O's, by the way, he gave the game to Kansas City when I presumed that Thad Lewis was the starter. But nevertheless, I will accept the 0-2, and we move ahead to Week 10.
So wait a minute. What you're saying that you're not going to take the Buffalo loss because what?
No, because I said Thad Lewis was supposed to be the starting quarterback, not Jeff Toole.
Right. But I mean, but that's a chance you take when you make a pick. You know, whenever you make the pick.
I'm more making fun of Jeff Toole.
Okay, right now I'm just more making fun of you for going 0-3 last week, Doug Upstone.
Well, you know what? That's acceptable.
Doug Upstone, let's step it up.
Especially with Oakland.
Step it the fuck up this week, okay, pal?
Say that again?
I said step it the fuck up this week, okay, pal?
Exactly. I agree with you. I'm ready to go.
Okay, 0-3, unacceptable. Let's go. 2-1. Let's hear what your value picks are for NFL Week 10. Value pick number 1, Doug Upstone. Go.
Value pick number 1 is Philadelphia plus the points over Green Bay. Now, after scoring 10 points in 2 games, the Eagles lambasted Oakland 49-20 behind Nick Foles' record-tying performance of 7 touchdowns. Now, with Foles, Chip Kelly was able to create the fast pace that he wanted, and against the Packers' defense, they could be in for a shock, especially after their pathetic showing. Now, I actually liked Philadelphia before the news of Aaron Rodgers, and with the Eagles' improved defense against Seneca Wallace, a Philadelphia victory would not be a stunner in this case.
All right, I don't know, bro. I mean, yeah, you like the Philadelphia before the news of Aaron Rodgers. They were also a 10-point underdog. Now they're just, a 1.5-point underdog. I did preview this game with Al McMorty, and Al made a pretty compelling case on the side of Green Bay. So you're going head-to-head against Al McMorty on this one. To me, this game is a pass. I don't even want to touch it, but I don't know. Wouldn't feel comfortable betting Philly. Maybe get a win there, though. All right, value pick number 2, Doug Upstone. Go.
Value pick number 2 is Arizona minus the points over Houston. It's just going to be one of those years for Houston. It certainly seems. Their first play of the season was a precursor for the entire season today, with Matt Chop throwing an interception at San Diego, and Phillip Rivers tossed an immediate touchdown pass on the very next play, and the Texans have been chasing 2013 ever since. Now, after all that went on last week, sometimes you just have to say, you know what, you're snake bit, and that's just the way it goes. So the Texas players might have to accept their fate for this particular season. Now, this week they have to travel to Arizona, who will be fresh as a winter flower in the South Desert coming off a bye. The Cardinals are favored by 3, but my power ratings have it closer to 6. I say back the birds in this one.
Now, you might be right there. I previewed the game with Troy West, and we both agreed that we thought that the over 41 was a very strong play. So that's our pick for this game. But, yeah, there's something up with Texas. They're going to have injuries at running back. You might well get a win there with Arizona off the bye, as you said. All right, value pick number 3, go.
Value pick number 3 is New Orleans minus the points against Dallas. Now, I found it was fairly shocking to see New Orleans was manhandled all over the field by the Jets, who roughed them up all day long. But as the old Wizard of Oz movie line, there's no place like home. And that certainly applies to the Saints, who are 4-0 straight up and against the spread this year at the Superdome, and 17-4 the last 3 seasons, winning by over 14 points a game. Every reason to believe Sean Payton will have a little magic ready to go for New Orleans, and I say they beat the spread against the odds makers this week.
Yeah, you might be right on that side. I did preview that game with Jeff Cadillac from jeffcadillac.com, and he agrees with you. On the other hand, he's also 5-11-1 against the spread in his picks in our videos. So I'm not sure if that's a good sign or a bad sign. But, yeah, Saints much, much better in the Dome, coming off a disappointing loss that they should have won. Could easily see a cover there. All right, we will see how this turns out, Doug Upstone. And you have one more, we're going to do one more segment now in these shows, which is your tip of the week, right? What's your tip of the week for us this week?
That's correct. So my top tip of the week is this. This season, NFL teams off a home underdog outright upset are 2-13 against the spread if they play the following week. Now, last week we had 3 such teams, but only one is going to play this week, and that's Miami. So be very afraid of the Dolphins coming off an upset on Monday night.
All right, that's an interesting stat. It could be a little bit data mined or anomalous. I mean, they are playing the completely dysfunctional Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm sure if you go back in NFL history, any team playing against a team that is completely dysfunctional is usually a pretty good bet on. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Miami this Monday, but that's an interesting stat that you give us, Doug Upstone. Thanks. All right, that's the Upstone versus the World show for NFL Week 10. We will talk to you again next week, Doug.